Come on in here, chat. Come on in here, chat. What am I gonna smoke on tonight? I think I'm gonna smoke on this. Up on this. Come on in here, chat. Come on in here, chat. The good shit. Some more good shit. What's up, Sinister? What's up, Boris Shot? What's this? Great Gushers. Grape Gushers. That shit nice. What's up, everybody? What's up, Boris Shock? Make sure y'all hit the invite button. Hit the share button and hit the like button on your way in here, please, so that the YouTube algorithm acknowledges that I'm here on their platform. I want to talk a little bit about this back and forth between T-Pain and Drake. And also I want to talk about like T-Pain's impact on music. He got hot about what, 20 years ago now? So the 20-year mark, 15, 20-year mark, that's about time to look back and see, okay, what has happened since this artist broke through? And this artist that we're talking about today is T-Pain and his influence. Because T-Pain is monumental, for better or worse. Hell yeah, smoking keep the PTSD in check. I know. I don't have military PTSD, but I for damn sure got PTSD from working with kids. It helped me out a lot too. My PTSD was from being the guy that so many children told that a family member molested them, and I was a person that they told. And oftentimes I was more help than their own parents, unfortunately. But having that kind of a job gives you for real PTSD. For real PTSD. So, yeah. Salute to the military folks that got PTSD. And the people who done had family issues who have PTSD. PTSD is for real. But no, I'm better now because I went through years of therapy. But for a long time, I had severe acute PTSD and didn't know it. Didn't realize people telling me that their uncle molested them and their mother didn't do anything about it. I didn't know that was giving me PTSD. It was just part of the job for years. I looked up one day and I was just shaking, like, and one of my coworkers was like, "You need to go see a doctor, DeJuan." I was like, I'm right. Shit. So make sure, y'all, if you so stressed out that you can't sleep well, you can't get it together, things are tough, make sure you go see a therapist. Kendall's great with that. Kendall, my hypnotherapist, she's great with shit like that, with hypnotherapy. But we also have traditional talk therapy. So anybody out there having an issue, before we get started with today's show, do not minimize your stress. If you're so stressed out that you're shaking, that you can't relax, things ain't, your mind is this and that and that and that and that and that, get some help, please. If you got heavy work stress, make sure you spend some time. Make sure you spend some time on vacation, traveling. Like today, me and my wife just got back from wine country. We was out there chilling. We'll get started on the topic in a couple minutes, y'all. So if you landed on this part and you watching later on and you want to skip to about the 8 to 10 minute mark. Sometime around there is when I'm gonna get started on the topic. All right, probably about the 8 minute mark. See, I seem like I'm a nice. Yeah, I'm a nice guy. I'm a nice person. I am. Every now and again, there's people out there that want to take kindness for a weakness, and they think nice means pushover. I done had a few people that thought nice meant pushover. They found out the hard way. But remember this, folks. Peace comes at the end of a sword. The only way you can really maintain true peace is if you're willing to defend it with your life. And I'm willing to defend my peace with my life. Because my life must be peaceful. Anything coming to deserve that peace, bitch. And then I go back to being nice. It's part of being nice. The minute something threatens that peace, you gotta get rid of that shit. We all got a high side and we all got a dark side. And when people do not respect your high side, go dark. And I can go really dark. But I very rarely have to go dark because the light is so bright. Remember that peacefulness does not mean pushover. Peace does not mean pushover. Peacefulness don't mean letting anybody say what they want to say to you. Peacefulness do not mean letting people do what they want to do to you. Hell nah. Peacefulness is your willingness to defend your peace. What's up, Mark Smith? That's right, DSB. All right, let's get ready for the topic. Let's get this started. We got 80 people in here. That means we should have 80 likes. Make sure y'all share this. Make sure y'all share this. What's up, Chubby? Yeah. You say you go pitch black in a matter of seconds, so I chill and toke it out right. I don't like going dark on people. I don't like doing that. But I am totally okay. I'm totally comfortable with going dark, right? As much fun and loving as I like to have, I have absolutely no issues going dark. We all got angels we can pray to, and we all got demons. See, the thing is, society done got y'all niggas afraid of embracing your demons, embracing your bad side, what they call your bad side. Society got y'all afraid to embrace your darkness. Your darkness is there for a reason. Your dark side, your evil side is lovely. It's just as godly as darkness, and evilness is just as good as light and love. It's same shit. Come down to what do you want? How do you want it? How do you feel? If the light is respected, let's keep it that way. If it ain't, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's right, Mr. Smoke. Somebody messing with your kids, they'll take you beyond dark, right? People don't respect light. A lot of people don't respect light. It's a lot of ancient people out there that do not respect light. It's a lot of ancient people out there that don't respect positivity and love and kindness. So you cannot love people into loving you. That doesn't, no. Sometimes it's either fuck you, get away from me, or you ain't gotta love me. Here's some darkness. Bitch, respect me. What's up, Wally? All right. Yeah, we have shadow signs for a reason. Yes, we do. All right, let's get into it. T-Pain. Let's get into the subject for tonight. Then when we done with the subject, if y'all sit around on the backside of that, we can chit chat. All right, we gonna sit around and chit chat for a little while. I drove about 250 miles today round trip between LA, no, about 300 miles round trip up to wine country. Came back home with about 4 cases of wine. Woo! Got a couple magnums, some bubbly from California's Central Coast, Los Olivos, Santa Ynez Valley Vineyards. You said YouTube took away your other name? Damn. But, so, I was going to talk about this the other day. But for those you didn't see, T-Pain, and this has been going around, these interviews that T-Pain has had. T-Pain he had an interview last week where he talked about how he discovered Autotune and, how he was singing into a fan, and then he heard a J-Lo song and he started using Autotune. Then he went in talking about Drake and how Drake said he'd retire before he becomes dull or whatever. And so, he talked about that. Then he said, the way you've seen Drake's last few albums, he should retire. Yeah, Stay Fly was a dope name. It's a damn shame you can't get it back. Were you a mod of Stay Fly? I don't remember. Were you a mod? I'm not sure. Let me know. I'll take Amir's wrench and give it to you. And I'm just fucking with you, Amir. But so let's tackle the first part. Drake said that, basically T-Pain is still jealous of him, whatever. And and then people got mad at T-Pain. Let me give you guys a little bit of history. T-Pain is the originator of a genre, for better or for worse. The Autotune genre. And when it comes to what he said about Drake, he has the right to say what he has said about Drake because Drake took his whole style. And we live in a world to where people can take your shit. And this shit started with Jay-Z fans. It didn't really exist before Jay-Z fans. Drake fans are kind of like how LeBron fans, Jay-Z fans, are Jordan fans. All four are in deep love of media hype. Now, Jay-Z and Jordan are both immensely talented. But Jay-Z is a fraud. He's a biter. He's always been. And I don't change just because biting has become cool in the last 25 years doesn't mean I have to change. I still think biting is whack. I still think taking somebody else's style is whack. I think taking a whole bunch of other people's lines and quarter them like they're yours, I think that's whack. I don't care that Jay-Z has classics doing so. He's still whack, in my opinion. Now, others, you may value that whack shit. I don't, and I never will. And just because I like a few songs and some of those songs have now turned into classics, I still remember the original lines Jay-Z is quoting. So therefore, I can't give him shit. I can't give him shit. Drake is just a less talented biter than Jay-Z. They're both biters nonetheless, okay? And to really get Drake's career popping off, he bit a lot of T-Pain. And we got to give T-Pain the credit. Here's where we got to give T-Pain credit. Let me light this up and let's get talking, okay? T-Pain started a genre of music. We got to realize Autotune just got invented, I think like in 97, 98, sometime around there. And it was invented for Cher. They wanted her to sound, but she, it's like anything else. They invent these machines to do what the Black American does naturally. The wah-wah pedal on guitar was invented to do what Muddy Waters and T-Bone Walker could do naturally. They can wah-wah without a pedal. But the white boys that they were teaching couldn't do that. So they invented a contraption to make them do it. Cher can't sing. Never could, even in her prime. So they invented a contraption to have her hit the notes that she couldn't hit with her voice. And then J-Lo used it. Auto-Tune was invented to have less talented people to fix their flaws because they couldn't fix them with their natural voice. So enter the chat T-Pain. T-Pain is an amazing singer without auto-tune. He is a good musician, good singer. And when you listen to this interview that he went on, I forgot the name of the podcast he had the interview on. He talked about how he heard that J-Lo song and he searched for 2 years for that sound. And what he did before he found what auto-tune was, he said he used to sing into a fan. He used to sing into a fan. And then he found the auto-tune, and just like black folks, he turned auto-tune, something that was meant for the talentless, and he turned it into a full-on instrument. The way Herbie Hancock and Roger Troutman turned the talk box into an instrument. The way people like T. Nava, I love the way T. Nava does the talk box at a vocoder from the Free Nationals. Brothers turn things that weren't meant to be instruments. T-Pain turned what was not meant to be into an instrument. So what T-Pain did was monumental. Now, was it monumental in a good way? In my opinion, hell no. What T-Pain did was, and he didn't do this on purpose, this wasn't his goal. His goal, when I heard his story about him searching for 2 years for that sound, that's something that God put into him. And being an original, people don't understand, when you're an original, there's just this thing in your ear, like you cannot get that shit out of your ear until you get it on wax. And when I heard his origin story, this sounds like he was really following God. If you search for a sound for 2 years, there's something godly in that's searching, that you've been assigned to do something. That's God. And this is where Dewan, me, I have to remove my personal feelings to the side because I had a totally different point of view on T-Pain and Autotune before I heard his interview. When I heard that's how he got his sound, I said, well, if and when I hear that, see a person like Drake, a person like Jay-Z, these people don't have anything in their mind. And they ain't got no transmissions coming from spirit like that. They hear what you do. And these cheap niggas want to sound like you. T-Pain wasn't trying to sound like nobody. He was trying to sound like the sound that was in his head. That's what T-Pain was trying to sound like. He was trying to get the sound that was in his mind. Not the sound that the next nigga down the street is doing. So, for whatever, when I heard that, that made me draw the conclusion that whether I like Autotune or not, this was the divine time for it because, again, T-Pain, he listened to his inner voice. On the song Good Thoughts, Bad Thoughts by Funkadelic, you hear George say, listen to the inner voice. A higher wisdom, there's a higher wisdom that's calling you. Conquering the stumbling blocks come easier when the conqueror is in tune with the infinite. Go listen to that song. It's a 12-minute song by Funkadelic. It's not a song you can dance to. It's a song you smoke a blunt, grab some wine, you just listen to the words he's preaching. Conquering the stumbling blocks come easier when the conqueror is in tune with the infinite. So I gotta give T-Pain credit. Gotta give him credit. That's how we gonna start. Now, how do I feel about Autotune? I think is for the most part bullshit. What Autotune did was it made it easy for people with no talent. It made music easier, and that's what's been happening between programming beats, and no disrespect to people who program beats. I don't ever want people to feel that way, like I'm disrespecting you. I'm just talking turkey. You know, that would be like saying, okay, no, the NBA is the real deal. And you think the people playing at the park on the end of your block is the real deal. Imagine going down the street every day and you see these guys playing down the street, and they play amazing basketball. You love what they play. You go to, whether it be Rucker Park or wherever you are in the country, that'd be like you going down and you see people playing basketball at the park near your house every day, and that's all you're conditioned to. And then somebody like me coming around and be like, that's cool, but what about the NBA? There's an NBA over here where they really get down professionally, where these niggas do some shit that these guys at the park can only dream of. If you're only conditioned to park basketball, somebody come around saying that's cool, but that's better. They may sound like a hater to you. Not hating. I'm just saying that's better, and we can measure this, okay? What's up, Ebony? Ebony, good people. So that's the difference between auto-tune and regular singing. A real singer is gonna hit them notes. You know? You don't need help. And T-Pain's a real singer. But what T-Pain showed the world how to do, he really showed the world how to make cheap music for people who can't sing. And there's way more people out there that can't sing than can. Singers are rare, okay? Talent is rare. Shit, I thought I had my hoodie in here. Fuck it. It's cold out there. I'm coming back in here. Shit got cold. Singers are rare. Talent is rare. And when it comes to the people who do music right, it's rare. It's rare. It's rare. And people get offended when I say, okay, no, learn a fucking instrument, learn how to sing. Then they be like, well, what about me? Well, you probably shouldn't be doing music if you can't do the shit naturally. That's just real talk. That's like somebody had to tell me when I had to realize at some point that when, as much as I used to hoop, I wasn't good enough for the NBA. At some point, you got to be realistic. It's the difference between what I do here at the park and what the niggas in the NBA do. You just got to be real. And what Autotune did was make it easy for people that don't know how to play. That's what programming beats did. Programming beats and Autotune made it easier for those that don't know what the fuck they doing. Insert Drake. Insert Drake. You get somebody who's basically a knockoff of a knockoff. Jay-Z was a knockoff, but Jay-Z was an extremely talented knockoff. An extremely talented knockoff. Vic Firth. These are the best sticks you can buy. These are the Peter Erskine editions. What Autotune did was it made it easy for people to play basketball that don't belong in the NBA. Autotune made it easy for people to play basketball that don't belong in the NBA. Now I gotta go back out there because this coverage is bad. If I stay in here, the cell phone coverage is gonna drop. This coverage is gonna drop if I stay in here. Fuck. I gotta come out here. That's right, Biz Martie, Auto Crutch. So, what T-Pain did was he created a monster. Yes, T-Pain has a talent. He can really sing. He's a really good producer. But Autotune opened up the door for people who really can't sing, who really aren't good producers, you know? You said Craig Fax is playing an old show with me on it. Why? Not you, brother. Not you. Thank you, Kevin. I'm not blaming you, but like, that old show is fucking over with, man. Why the hell am I on an old show streaming right now? That's just weird to me. I guess making it seem like we all still do the show together. No, the fuck we don't. That show is over. Oh my God, that show's over with. So, I seen some of them old shows streaming. Like, what up, man? Good to see you, brother. Good to see you too. How you doing? I'm good, man. How about yourself? Yes, sir. I'm gonna go house sit for tea. Oh, when she leave? Tomorrow, I think. Okay. Yeah. All right, man. All right. That's right, Ebony. It's over. Like, shit's over with. Like, why is old shows playing? So I'm just gonna put that out there. If you see some old shit with me on it, I don't want to say anything bad, so I'm not gonna say anything at all. Just understand that that ain't my jam. All right, I leaves the past in the past. Okay, the past is gone. The past is a learning lesson for the present. So, what's up, Jay Jimerson? Yeah, I'm making it plain. You know what I mean? No disrespect to nobody, but that's just kind of annoying. God, leave the past in the past. Shit, move the fuck on. That's my stance on it. And I'm only saying that because if I'm being played right now on another channel, I'm not on no more, and that channel is still making money off old shit that I was on. What do you want me to say? I ain't getting the cut. Let me get back to my point of view before I say too much. Let me get back to what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Some stuff is just business, y'all. That kind of threw me off. We're talking about T-Pain. All right, let's go. And Autotune. So back to Autotune. Autotune, and I'm not saying it's all bad because like there's some songs like with Terrace Martin, Robert Glasper. They've done some things with Autotune. That's cool. You know what I mean? I think that Autotune, you know, for sometimes the producer, sometimes you feel there's a song called "Thinking About You" by Robert Glasper. It's on the Art Science album by Robert Glasper Experiment. Yeah, baby old dog. Is that Wally? Yeah, you feel me? It ain't no disrespect to nobody, but shit, the past is over with. God damn, let's move the fuck on. Shit. But I had to put that out there. I think that's the second person that told me like, oh, an old episode of mine was streaming. I'm like, why? I didn't consent to this. And I just want to put that out there because if y'all see me somewhere, I'll let you know that y'all probably coming up here thinking like, hey, the one, that's cool. No, I didn't say no. I don't know what the fuck that's coming from, but it's not about being cool. It's about business, Stan the man. It's about business. It's about business. Business is one thing. Yeah. It's about business. Yeah. But now, would you be cool if your shit was being played somewhere else and you wasn't getting paid for it? When your channel's monetized too? Think about it. Think about it. But I'm not gonna do no shit like flag or nothing like that. I could, cause it's my image, but I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna do all that. But I do have a certain level of respect for folks that I'm not gonna play their images without them. You know, that's what I give to others. I'm not gonna. I have certain interviews that do y'all know I have interviews that I've done that I haven't put out yet? Just because the person I interviewed was kind of like, wait. Or it was just kind of, you know, impromptu interview and it wasn't all the way. It's just like, you know what? I'm going to sit on it. Don't trip. Yeah, baby, I'm playing your face like you don't understand business. It's like, yeah, whatever. But YouTube channels are monetized. And just because you did something for free back in the day don't mean you want the shit getting played over and over again and didn't get paid then, ain't getting paid now. Like, damn, the fuck? Are you serious? That's all I'm saying. Is, are you serious? Damn. All that gas I done spent to record that shit, and it's getting replayed? Yeah. Nigga, at least tag a nigga channel so we can split the monetization on the motherfucker. That'll work. Whatever. Let's get back to this conversation about T-Pain and Drake. So, T-Pain sets off a lot of careers. A lot of careers over the last 15 years, 20 years will not exist without T-Pain. T-Pain created a wrinkle in time. And whether you are cool with the person's music or not, you gotta be serious. And I am not cool with what Autotune became. But that still doesn't stop me from recognizing T-Pain's greatness. When I heard that man say he spent 2 years looking for that sound, I know what that is as a creative. That was him making a way out of no way. And remember this, the Stevie Wonder did things I didn't like. Stevie Wonder on the songs Village Ghetto Land, on the Songs in the Key of Life album, was the first time a string section was used without live strings. As much as I love Stevie Wonder played a major part in these programmed instruments coming into play, and Herbie Hancock. And I love Herbie. Stevie and Herbie are two of my all-time favorites. But Stevie was monumental with drum machine, program beats, program string sections. Prince was monumental with programmed horns. Remember Prince bragged about when he came out with the Revolution, he bragged about no horns for the Minneapolis sound. So Prince did something that ultimately crippled music. Now, he did it great, but when the world gets used to programmed horns, now we don't get real horns. And we need horns. Horns are so beautiful, woodwinds and brass. The combination of, when you get a trombone, trumpet, and a saxophone playing in harmony, that tickles your ears, man. When you get a 22-piece string section, you get 2 bass, you get about 10 violins, cellos, some oboes. Man, that is beauty personified. But Stevie Wonder, who's definitely on my Mount, he's on a couple of my Mount Rushmores. Stevie Wonder's on my singing Mount Rushmore. He's on my overall Mount Rushmore. He's on my musician, man. Stevie Wonder is everything to me. But the program strings, that started something that it rung a bell that couldn't be unrung. I'm gonna get to your question about the death of Autotune, Antonio Films. I see your question and I want to get to it, but let me finish this point. Yeah, Drake is a knockoff Fonte. Drake is a knockoff of a lot of people, just like Jay-Z's a knockoff Jaz-O. You can 1-for-1 see Drake is just a watered down Jay-Z, but Jay-Z, it's always us FBA. Remember this, black people. We are the ones that teach others how to steal from us. Do you want me to say it again? We always show the world how to duplicate what we do. Every time we lower our standard and say, okay, this now new lower standard of doing things is acceptable, that opens the door for somebody else. Always. When we had a hard, firm line in the 90s, no biting. When that went across the board, no biting, and no meant no, Snoop called hell for just remaking Lottie Dottie. And he was showing homage. Like, it was a full-on remake. He wasn't saying, hey, this is my song. No, he was saying, no, this is their song. He was just doing what R&B does. He still, as hot as Snoop was, Snoop took heat because hip-hop had a hard line. No biting under any circumstance. And so, and this goes back to when I was in high school. When Jay-Z dropped 99 Problems But a Bitch Ain't One, my first reaction was, okay, yeah, niggas ain't gonna, what is this? That's Ice-T's song. I gotta get my hoodie, y'all. I gotta get my hoodie. My first reaction was, okay, I'm gonna turn my camera off, but we still here. I thought I turned my camera off, but whatever. When we held that hard line, no biting. When no meant no, the bar was held. The standard was held. And we kept that standard, you know? We kept that standard, and it made it impossible for people to come and take our shit. Because the reason why Drake, people, whatever, couldn't come take our shit, because as long as we held a standard of no biting, that meant everyone had a minimum requisite for talent. You may not be the best original, but you're still original. And one thing about it when it comes to our music, original wins. That's why still to this day, white folks ain't nobody else took jazz. Let me say, quick little segue, y'all. Anytime you hear somebody say white people took jazz, you're listening to a nigga that don't listen to jazz. Okay? Because we still own jazz. We've never given jazz up. We've never given jazz up. The only people who say white folks took jazz are niggas that don't listen to jazz. If you listen to jazz, you know that can't be further from the truth. You listening to Kamasi Washington, Roy Hargrove, rest in peace, died too young. What up, man? Rest in peace, Roy Hargrove, Wynton Marsalis, Terrence Blanchard, Thundercat. Nigga, we ain't never lost jazz. Because jazz is original. Yeah, Caucasus Mountain took jazz. Yeah, people be like, no, man, because of Kenny G, white folks took jazz. No. Kenny G has a popular style, but he ain't running shit. Y'all have a good one. And Kenny G never has run shit. He just is popular in a particular segment of jazz. As long as we stay raw and natural, we win. Let me give you another example. We still controlled R&B in the 80s. Let me give you two more examples. In the late 70s into the early 80s, you started getting black artists imitating white yacht rock. Yacht rock, quote unquote, blue-eyed soul was a cheap version of black soul music. And I don't want to say cheap all the time because albums like Asia by Steely Dan, that's a classic. But as great as Asia is by Steely Dan, it's still not as soulful as Confunction or something like that, what they were trying to be, but it was still great. Mostly because most of the musicians and all the background singers are black, by the way. But the white yacht rock era, Blue Eyed Soul, that was their best attempt at sounding like us. And then Lionel Richie came, and Quincy. When Quincy did that, find 100 ways. That's that James Ingram, that Peabo Bryson, Patty Austin style R&B, which is hot. That made it to where the music it no longer had to have soul because we validated it. And that forever cheesed up R&B, and R&B never recovered from that. It never recovered from that early 80s, that mid 80s cheesy, baby, come to me. And I love that song. Those songs themselves were great, but it cheesed it up to the point to where now when cheesy ass New Kids on the Block come, the black people already validated it. Then you get to the early 90s. Late 90s, late 80s, you still have power singing. You still got Freddie Jackson and Luther on the male side. You got Aaron Hall coming up. You got Guy, late 80s. You got Vesta, Stephanie Mills, Melissa Morgan. You get these power singers. Hey! What the fuck? Oh, shit. A goddamn skunk. Woo! Let me show y'all this. Let me see if it turn around. Y'all see that skunk? This motherfucker just dipped on me. Y'all see that skunk? I told y'all, nigga, I live in nature, yo. That nigga got his tail up. Let me get the fuck back. I'm sitting on my steps. That goddamn skunk came right up under my fucking seat. I'm glad that nigga didn't spray me. Yeah, get on. Y'all saw that shit? I live in nature, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Y'all saw the skunk. Pepe Le Pew like a motherfucker. I live in nature, yo. Nigga, South Central LA is still nature. That shit got me, got me. A player just escaped, nigga. Y'all saw that skunk, didn't y'all? Chat room. Did y'all see that? When the camera turned around, did y'all see it? Did y'all see the skunk? Fuck you, A9A Simon. Fuck you. Did y'all see it when I put the camera on it? Okay, cool. Y'all see it? Y'all see I'm not bullshitting. I'm sitting on my steps. I just see something come real quick and go between my legs. I'm like, what the fuck? I got a whole ass skunk. So y'all saw the skunk. So y'all see I ain't tripping. I still live in South Central LA, but the part of South Central I live in is it's cool over here. It's quiet. Yeah, that last live I did from my phone, y'all. Some people in the comment section got it that last time. Y'all heard that gunshot, and I was like, hey. Nobody got hit. I live like, it's nature and still a little bit hood over here. It's nature and hood, nigga. Y'all notice how I be talking? LA. And most of these tough niggas on here that be talking all kind of shit about the gang life and LA tough. All them niggas live in fucking Vegas, Moreno Valley, goddamn it, Palmdale. All them niggas got run about. Nigga, I'm still in the middle of this shit. You will get, over here, you will see coyotes, raccoons, skunks, and a nigga still might get shot at the liquor store down the street. Hell yeah, I was fast, nigga. Like, that's one thing. I'm in my 40s now, so I'm slowing down a little bit. But anybody that knows me in person, even when I was a lot heavier, I'm very quick feet. I'm extremely agile. That's one thing that used to help me all the time when I played basketball. Niggas see a big dude coming on the court. I'm more agile than you, I promise. Even with the weight. I've been carrying weight my whole life, so this is nothing to me. Carrying a belly to me is like you niggas with a six-pack. Like, I've never not had a belly. But I'm still quicker than you. Yeah. Yeah, I say, nigga, you will hear gunshots and coyotes in the same breath where I live. Nigga, I'm just glad that skunk didn't piss. Now, where was I before I was rudely interrupted by that skunk? Where was I, chat room? Hell yeah, you're here to get a bird. It was a police chase on the news like 2 weeks ago. Man, that motherfucker came right by my house. I'm watching this shit on my phone. I'm like, hold on. They down the street. Nigga, I go walking down to the corner thinking I'm gonna see it. That shit just went by. Cause I guess the news be like on a 20-second delay. So I'm over here walking thinking I can get to that goddamn chasing time. I was watching motherfuckers sitting on these same steps on my phone. And then I look in the sky, I'm like, hold on. Hold on. They on what street? I'm like, hold on. These niggas is on Normandy? Oh yeah. But I was on R&B singers, yes. Nigga, Biz Martie, stop it. I ain't about to be beefing with no other YouTubers. Well, nah, so I was on the Fox Soul show with Cynthia G. She wasn't shit, but whatever. I ain't beefing. Anyway, let's go. Well, in the 90s, this is how R&B got softer in the 90s. In the 80s, you still got your power singers, Melissa Morgan, Vesta, Denise Williams sit around, let's hear it for the boys. You got, Stephanie Mills, Whitney Houston. And then there's little singing, can't sing Mary J. Blige. But I always got to give Mary credit because she actually became a decent singer by the time she got to the Mary album in 1999. She became a decent singer. But the fact is, if you go back and watch her live performances, the the BET Awards, the Soul Train Awards, 92, 93. I think it was the 93 Soul Train Awards. I was in middle school. I was at Overright Middle School. And I remember, because, that song she done, Love Unlimited, Love Without a Limit, that shit was hot when I was in 6th, 7th grade. And I remember the day after she did the Soul Train Awards, everybody came to school kind of like, did y'all hear Mary sing? Press number 1 if you remember that back in 93. Her first time on the Soul Train Awards. Mary J. Blige's first appearance on the awards. Everybody came back to school the next day was like, what was that? But like I said, to her credit, she became a better singer later on. But 93, she couldn't sing. And even when she became a better singer later on, she still can't hold a candle to the singer to Shirley Murdoch, to Jennifer Holliday. Then after Mary comes Aaliyah. See, Janet Jackson, when she came in, because Janet Jackson could hold a tone, but because Janet Jackson's voice wasn't powerful, Janet Jackson took a lot of heat. People were saying Janet Jackson couldn't sing. You remember that? Hell, till this day, people be like, "Oh, Janet Jackson couldn't really sing." No, Janet Jackson can sing, but Janet Jackson came up at a time where women weren't singing; they were singing. It's a big difference between singing and singing. And Janet could sing at a time women were singing. But then Aaliyah comes, and Aaliyah has a weaker voice than Janet, but she's beautiful. And she has a star quality. Aaliyah was just a star. That's one thing about Aaliyah. She just was a star. Like, if Aaliyah came in acting first, she would have been a star. If she came in tap dancing, if Aaliyah tap danced and with a hula hoop, she still would have been a star. That girl was just a star. But her singing was very weak. Good music. So when Aaliyah comes, you have Aaliyah and Mary J. Blige, artists you can pin good music on, but they don't necessarily sing that good. Versus the 80s, you really had to sing. So when Aaliyah and Mary come around, that normalizes, you ain't really got to sing that good. Just pin a song on them. Pin it. Let's pin the hits on these models. Like that, they don't necessarily sing that good. Aaliyah could dance, but this is what I say to people that say, like when I talk about Usher and Aaliyah, people like that dancing. With black folks, great dancers are basically like a dime a dozen. You're gonna find more great dancers than you're gonna find great singers. I promise you that. We some dancing motherfuckers. Now, some people are exceptional. Like Aaliyah was exceptionally good, but look at TLC. Left Eye could dance her. Chili? Nigga, Chili and T-Boz, but really Chili. Nigga, when Chili got to dancing, Chili, man, what? Chili was a dancing motherfucker. Yeah, I remember the group The Jets. And I always ask the question, who wins in the fight, the group The Jets or the cast of Saved by the Bell? Like Bobby Brown. Oh, I got to talk to Bobby Brown yesterday. I was at the homie Tashina's birthday party yesterday, and Bobby Brown was there. And I went up to Bobby Brown, and I just got to tell him. I just walked up to him. I went to Bobby Brown and said, thank you. And it's like my third or fourth time meeting Bobby Brown. I was at his birthday party, too. But, when I see people who are, like, real stars, and to me, Bobby Brown's a star. That's Bobby fucking Brown. I tend to stay away from celebrities like that, I tend to stay in the cut, But I went to Bobby Brown yesterday, and I just said, thank you. He's like, for what? I said, you're one of the rare artists that created a wrinkle in time. See, we got to understand, just because you sell platinum records don't mean, like someone like The Weeknd. The Weeknd just did a bunch of sold out shows at SoFi. He sells a bunch of records, but he didn't create any wrinkles in time. He's somebody who's popular now, but in 20 years or 30 years, the only people who are going to like his music is his fans. He's not going to get new kid fans in 20 years, like Michael Jackson say, Bobby Brown, with what they did with New Edition, everything K-pop is New Edition. When he came out in the late 80s, and that run he had, that was one of the best runs you ever had in music. I didn't say The Weeknd doesn't have an era. Answer what I say. Don't make up shit. That's one thing I don't like. That's one thing that's frustrating about talking. You'll make a very specific point, and people will be loud about disagreeing with a point you didn't make. I didn't say. I literally said The Weeknd had an era. I think I started by saying The Weeknd had an era. I said he sold a bunch of songs and he created. He had a sold out show at SoFi, but he did not create a wrinkle in time because he didn't create anything new. Creating a wrinkle in time is when you bring something that didn't exist to the table and it changes the course. What Bobby Brown did, he was the first R&B singer that had a hip-hop edge to him at a time that America was doing everything they could to quell hip-hop. Now we see it as normal for singers to be tough. We see it as normal for singers to be bad boys. Rick James had that. He was the end of the funk era, Rick James, with his bad boy image. Bobby Brown was the first of the hip-hop generation. He brought the hip-hop feel, even though he didn't really, they of course they did have him rap some parts because that was just part of the fucking 80s. Everybody had to goddamn rap a goddamn 4-bar shit. They even had goddamn Shanice rap. Everybody rapped in the 80s. So he did rap. But he truly made a space for hip hop in R&B. This is at a time that there were strong borders between the two. Either rock him or R&B, I can see that. Bobby Brown made permissible something that was a no-no. R&B wasn't supposed to cross the hip-hop boundary. No, we're over here. We're mature. We're grown people music. It wasn't supposed to cross that boundary. New Jack Swing, Teddy Riley did it for the beats. When you talk about Teddy Riley, you're talking about a group guy, and they brought in the New Jack Swing, the musical style. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, Babyface, and all those guys were like pushing the sound forward. Babyface and L.A. Reid, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis, Teddy Riley. These were the three best at that time of pushing the sound forward into something different. That's real talk, Biz Marty. Bobby Brown had a masculine edge in the era of Freddie Jackson and Luther Vandross. Right. Because we all knew, and we loved both Freddie and Luther both. But we all thought that they was gay. I remember being like 9 years old, and my grandmother and my mom talking about, you think Freddie Jackson gay? I think so, girl. I remember the conversations with me sitting in the back seat playing with my G.I. Joes. The grown folks talking like that. When Freddie Jackson, we're gonna take it nice and slow. Well, you know how old folks said it. My grandmother was like, do you think he funny? That's how old folks said it. Why old black people get quiet? It's just you two here. It's just three of us in the car. You think he a little bit funny? Is he a little... Yeah, the group today. Yeah, you're right. I'm with you. The group today. Today was a dope group, but they fell off. I got that feeling, yeah. Something's going wrong. Chucky Booker was all around the same time. People got to give Chucky Booker his credit too. Oh, that boy got sugar in his tank. Yep. Danny Michael. Yep. But we talking music, y'all. Bobby Brown normalized that hip hop edge in rhythm and blues. And that opened the door for everybody that came in. That opened the door for Jodeci. You know? That opened the door, because Jodeci did it for groups. Jodeci took it a little bit further. But with Bobby Brown, he was as tough as the hip hop guys, but he could dance like a motherfucker. So that's, and someone was talking about The Weeknd earlier. What the fuck did The Weeknd introduce to R&B that wasn't already there? He's a Michael Jackson knockoff that can't sing nor dance as good as him, but he's a non-black but black enough, and he plays this very bland, rhythmless blues that is palatable for the world. It's stripped down nigga music, and the world has always loved stripped down nigga music. But for some reason, you don't have too many any more Justin Timberlakes coming. Because if you go back to all the popular white artists, they all just had a little 5-6 year run. They generally don't go too much longer after that. But the thing about being a white artist, you get a 5-6 year run, you could tour stadiums the rest of your life. Like, you can always tour if you're white and you get that kind of a run. You got groups had like a 3 year run. They still doing 20,000. Groups like Iron Maiden. I like Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden had a good, strong 6 years. Them motherfuckers still do basketball stadiums when they tour. Boy George had about 2-3 years, but they don't really have too many white artists. So the next best thing is Bruno Mars and The Weeknd. Your half breeds or somewhat close breeds. That's it. If there was a white boy as talented as Taylor Swift, then The Weeknd wouldn't be a thing, But there are no white males as talented as Taylor Swift. So the next best thing is The Weeknd. Yeah, but John B wasn't trying to be a white boy. That's where John B had the same issue as Tina Marie. They weren't trying to be white boys. They had a certain level of authenticity in their soul. Robin Thicke, he tried, but when Robin Thicke had that blurred line scandal, and from what I heard, Robin Thicke has done like a lot of things that maybe he kind of like rubbed people the wrong way in the industry, from what I heard. Yeah, Taylor Swift is very talented. She writes her own music. You know what I mean? Just because it's just not my taste. It's can't compare it to a black woman. She's whatever. But I'm going to give her credit for being talented. She writes her music, she does what she does. You can't get that many fans without being talented. You know what I mean? She's talented. She is. May not like the talent, but it's still talent. The Weeknd is talented. Bruno Mars is talented. All the people are talented. You don't get a stadium full of people if you ain't talented. It's just that the bar is a lot lower for them. That's all I'm saying. They don't need the same level of talent as black Americans. You know what I mean? They require less talent, to get a stadium full of people. None of these people got Bobby Brown's talent. But that's what all I'm saying about the whole auto-tune thing. It opened the door for people that don't really meet the bar to become stars. Your Rihanna's, your Futures. Like, Future got talent, but I mean, this whole auto-tune generation, auto-tune rapping, Lil Wayne auto-tuned half of his career. Hell, even, and Chris Brown stood up and defended T-Pain and called him a legend. But even Chris Brown, the reason why Chris Brown, in my opinion, isn't one of the greats as far as R&B, as far as the top tier of R&B, he's on that maybe that second or third tier down, is because of all the overuse of autotune. And here's why I create that standard. And this goes out to, because I be places a lot now. My channel's been going on for a while now. So just this past month of June, there were 3 different concerts that I went to where somebody on stage recognized me. And they got off stage and came to say what's up to me. Once was at the Hollywood Bowl. I was like, whoa. I was at the jazz festival at the Hollywood Bowl, and one of the musicians saw me where in my seat. And they came up, a couple of them. They jumped right off stage to come and thank me for what I do for my music. And the same thing this past week when I was at Kamasi's show at the museum. So I said all that to say, there are people out there, what I say, it goes further than my numbers dictate. Like, I've been to 3 concerts in June, and all 3 people came up and they recognized me from the stage. That shit freaked me the fuck out. I promise you, it freaked me out. I ain't saying that shit with my head in the sky. I'm saying that shit like, what the fuck? But the standard I say this from to anybody, artist that hears this. This is why I say what I say to any artist that hears this. Our music is how the American black communicates. All groups communicate, but they always want to put things to Africa. Africa has its own language of communication, just like Africa has its own verbal language, Swahili, Igbo, whatever other languages they got over there. We speak English. Our music has its own language that's unique from anywhere else in the world. Just like Australia has its own music that's unique from anywhere else in the world. It shouldn't be offensive, you know? But swing low, sweet chariot, coming for the carry me home. Wade in the water. The spirituals didn't stop at slavery. The spiritual continues through our music now. Through Max Roach, with songs like It's Time. Through Aretha Franklin, like with songs like Think and Respect. Through James Brown, through Funky President and those songs, through Earth and Fire, we've always gotten the messages of freedom through Ice Cube, through Nas. And up until the 90s, that was always part of the standard, even Too Short. Too Short to say, what's my favorite name, bitch? And then turn around and tell you, write a song like Short and Funky. Write a song like The Ghetto. You know, giving you game, life game. Everything in life has a purpose. And part of our music has always been a communication tool. It's also been a party tool. And when I say party, the party music made you get the fuck up and dance, not look at your goddamn cell phone. And I don't want to hear where they didn't have cell phones then, but no, the music has changed. The California dance, if you want to make people dance in California, 116 beats a minute, major chords, let's go. People will dance. People will dance. We've always had distractions. The music don't make people dance no more. And the music hasn't made people dance in 20 years. It made you bob your head, yeah. Because this goes back even before phones. I mean, 2006. Like, you know, niggas had phones, but when people weren't really dancing like that. The Soulja Boy song came out, made people dance, but they've dumbed down the dance music. They've dumbed down the love music. Compare Barry White to Drake. I mean that. Listen to a Barry White love song and then listen to a Drake love song. You can't compare. Just the tenderness and the production of the music before the voice even comes in. Before a lyric is said. Compare Smokey Robinson lyrically to to The Weeknd lyrically. Yeah, Guy made you dance. The minute you hear, when I'm with you, there is no other words. I like the way you tend to me. A song like I Like, nigga, I don't give a fuck what cell phone you got in your hand. When I Like come on, you're gonna fucking dance. Because musicians hold the key to make your ass move. Like what George Clinton used to say on the Uncle Jam, and the Motor Booty Affair. This is booty, do your duty time. Ain't that what George Clinton would say? This is booty, do your duty time. There's a formula to making people dance. The reason why I'm saying this to all you musicians that's hearing me is you guys hold the keys to people's heart, to people's mind, to the physical motion of people's bodies, to their spirit. The 4 elements, the 4 pips on cards. I see this goddamn light coming up. Make sure ain't no more goddamn skunks coming through here. We good? Cool. I'm making sure ain't no more goddamn skunks coming through this motherfucker. That skunk scared the shit out of me earlier. But it goes back to earth, air, water, fire. The 4 elements of life, of the universe. Earth, air, water, fire. In cardology, earth, the diamonds. Air, the cloves, the clubs. Water, the spades. Fire, the heart. That's why Earth and Fire wrote a song called That's the Way of the World. Hearts of fire create love desire. As a musician, you hold the keys. You have a responsibility, Black American musicians. You do. Music is a prayer, and the musicians and the singers and the writers and the rappers, you're the anointed ones. What this? You guys are the anointed ones, musicians. With great power comes a great responsibility, right? Hell yeah, that skunk raised his tail. I got the fuck out the way. But as a musician, like, it's the same way when I used to do comedy full time. I don't really do comedy like that anymore. But when I used to stand up comedy, now part of the reason why I don't do stand up comedy full time anymore is because I gotta take some blame for it, being discouraged, because a message like the message that I had was not appreciated by the black-owned comedy clubs out here. I always had a duty when I got on stage to where I had two rules. I'm never gonna make black people look bad for a joke, and I'm not gonna coon myself out for a laugh. I'll never coon for a laugh. I'll never play Mr. Step and Fetch It for a laugh. And I'll never sell out black people. After that, it's anything goes. And a lot of the comedy clubs didn't get me because on one hand, I'm extremely black consciousness. On the other hand, I'll say, fuck your kids. I'm very ignorant on stage. And I'll say anything. But part of in saying anything, I have to say something. You can say anything, but you got to say something. If people give you their attention, and attention is the most precious tool you can give somebody, because we don't get time back. So if you give me your time, and it's all 233 in here, I thank you for that, because you can't get no time back. If someone's willing to give me their time and attention, I have to give you something in return. That's a duty. And we can laugh, we can have fun. It don't mean you can't say ignorant shit. It don't mean you can't make ignorant music. To me, Too Short's the best example. Too Short made the most ignorant music of all time. He also made some of the most fun party music of all time. That song with Snoopy play, Life of the Party. I'm the life of the party every time I show up. Nigga, he's giving you good times. He's talked about pimp shit. Ain't nothing like pimping, just let it roll. Motherfucker shit, goddamn asshole. And then he turn around and give you game. Too Short gave so much game. I got discouraged in comedy around here, if I'm just gonna be 100% with y'all. The black-owned comedy clubs in LA did not appreciate that. Like, they was like, DeJuan, you'll say anything. They would get stuck on me saying shit, about I'll make a joke about Obama during Obama's presidency. Niggas didn't like that. But it was still funny, though. My issue was never funny. It was niggas scared of what I was going to say. And so a lot of you guys wonder why you don't get artists to say what you feel, to say something that's in tune with the times. It's because artists that are on that vibration are generally gate kept real early on. And generally they're gate kept by other black people. Usually, I can't even put this on white folks. I can't even put it on. Usually it's good Negroes that gatekeep the people who have a message. It's usually good Negroes that do it. Remember, Russell Simmons didn't want to sign Nas. So we gotta know that. And that's why, and it was no different back then too. Do y'all know that? And that's why I don't give an excuse to artists. Appreciate that, Nico. Appreciate the super chat. But this is the reason why I don't give a pass. Marvin Gaye sued his own record label to make What's Going On. Stevie Wonder sued his own record label to make Fulfilling This' first finale, Talking Book. The greats were gate kept too. They did it anyway. Yeah, Marvin Gaye had to sue to do What's Going On. Berry Gordy wanted to keep Marvin Gaye being a Sam Cooke knockoff. Early Marvin Gaye was a knockoff of Sam Cooke, and Nat King Cole was a mixture. Marvin Gaye wanted to be Nat King Cole, a lounge jazz singer. Appreciate that, Sandra. That's what Marvin Gaye wanted to be. And when he did Heard It Through the Grapevine, he got in a fight with, he didn't get in a fight. He wanted to fight Norman Whitfield for stretching his vocals out too much. Give me some of my drink. Marvin Gaye wanted to speak to the times. And Berry Gordy said, no, you gotta, because you gotta realize, Marvin Gaye was at the top of the hill in 1968, singing about love, singing about girl, I want you, and baby, please, baby, please. Marvin Gaye was at the top of the hill. He didn't need the change. But Marvin Gaye saw what was going on with the Vietnam War, the protests. King is dead. The Panthers are done. I gotta say something. So he sued his fucking boss and did it anyway. Stevie Wonder, Little Stevie. So the main records were Fingertips. They didn't quite know what to do. Motown was a machine. They wanted to keep Little Stevie in that box. Little Stevie said, I'm a man now. And he sued. And he gave a message to the people. James Brown. Let's go to James Brown. James Brown went to the top singing doo-wop. He went to the top singing old school rock and roll, R&B, gospel. James Brown Live in 1963 was like, I think that was the first live album that was a million seller. I think James Brown sold like 3 million units on a live album, something that did not happen back then. James Brown was already set. If James Brown stayed in R&B doo-wop, he still would have made it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He still would have been a legend. He still would have been a legend before he flipped it to funk. He flipped it to funk. Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. James Brown got political, told black people to vote for Nixon. Then he saw where he made a mistake. And he talked about that in song. James Brown made music talking about, James Brown had a song, Ain't It True What He Said? Without an education, you might as well be dead. James Brown's rapping, ain't it true what he said? Without an education, you might as well be dead. Max Roach, Father of the Drum Set, 1960. Changed that bebop sound up and went very revolutionary with it. I mean, time and time again, our black artists fought the machine to give us a message. And that's always been the standard. The record label saying don't do it, that wasn't enough. Curtis Mayfield's career was sacrificed because of this. They targeted Curtis Mayfield. He did it anyway. But guess what? Curtis Mayfield died a legend. Michael Jackson, to do the History album. Look at, Michael Jackson had it all, man. Had it all. He still came out and did They Don't Really Care About Us after having it all. So that's the standard I speak from. Just so people don't think I'm just hating, whatever that means, or I'm just being old school. No, this tradition goes back, at least on record, as long as we've been speaking English. As long as we have been speaking English on this land, we've used music as a communication tool on what our next steps are to be as a people, what to look out for as a people, how to love each other as a people, how to party as a people. Music has always been that tool. And at some point, I'm going to need, because Chris Brown, yeah, they sabotaged his career and he still was great. But I'm going to need Chris Brown to give us that at some point. I'm going to need Beyonce to give us that at some point. And I don't mean it, and not in some old fake ass Jay-Z way to where I'm trying to capitalize on the moment, but I really don't mean it. I'm going to release 444 and then turn around and say we done kneeling, even though nothing's changed. I ain't talking about no fake shit like Sean Carter, no. I'm talking about when Stevie Wonder made that pivot, he went so far as to make Dr. King Day a holiday. I mean it. And when are you niggas gonna start donating to black causes, black American causes? And I ain't talking about the NAACP, and I ain't talking about Africa. Anyone that says it's not gonna happen is just somebody who don't know who we are as a people. You gotta know who we are. At some point, everything returns back to its archetype, to its nature. You can only deviate from your nature for so long. We've had this ingrained in us for hundreds of years here on this land. And if we're gonna tell the truth, it never went away. Still there. It's just that the artists that they promote don't do it. Anderson .Paak drops a lot of. That's one thing I like about Anderson .Paak. He drops gems. Anderson .Paak drops a lot of gems in his music. A lot of gems. What's up, Brooke? But that's the point of view I speak. That's the point of view I speak from. The standard that we set as a people. Using your natural voice and using instruments. Oh yeah, BJ Chicago Kid did have a great album. Salute to my man J-Mo, produced a lot of that. J-Mo and Charlie Burrell, they produced a lot of that album. Played on it. I'm just speaking to the artists out there that want to be, transcend time. Yesterday, I was speaking to a singer that I know. I'm going to review her album, Stoney. I'm going to review her album with her dad, and I talked to her yesterday. She's a singer, and I'll tell y'all more about her once I review her album. But we were talking music yesterday at a party, And I was just saying, talking to her about my research and what I see, the trends. The people that are memorable, the people that stay around forever are the ones who are true to their own voice. Your voice has to always win. And you got to stand strong. You can't be willing to compromise yourself just to follow a trend. If you follow a trend, you can't sell a lot of records. Most of that money is going to go back to them people anyway. Now, it ain't going to come to you, first of all. But you won't be memorable. You're going to be memorable when you stand and do it your way. And you sing through your authentic voice. Here's an example. And that's this example I told her yesterday. Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, these were fringe artists in the late 90s, early 2000s. They weren't what the mainstream was pushing. The mainstream was pushing Aaliyah, Ashanti, Mariah, that very poppycock kind of music. Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, the whole neo soul sound, D'Angelo, Music Soul Child, Anthony Hamilton, Indy Irie, they were kind of like, yeah, we'll play their song because people like it, but yeah, y'all ain't getting no awards. You ain't getting no mainstream access. But go and play your little incense burning music. Oh, fine, yeah, whatever. 25 years later, Jill Scott decides to go on tour. She's going to sell out 10, 15,000 seat arenas. Same with Erykah Badu. And those artists that were poppy at the time, just your Ashantis and those artists that were more pop, and them niggas got to go on tour with 12 other niggas to sell out an arena. That be them old school. That be them, okay, we're going to have Ja Rule. We're going to have Ashanti. We're going to have Next. And we're going to have B2K. And we're going to have 112. And we're going to have, all them popular niggas from the late 90s. They got to go on tour. 15 niggas to sell out a venue. The quote-unquote neo-soul people, most of them can tour by themselves and be fine. Because they listen to their inner voice. And they made authentic music from their spirit that wasn't chasing the trend. They were setting a new trend. They weren't chasing any trends. The people that weren't chasing trends, Frankie Beverly and Maze, those are the artists that they're going to tour until they're done. You know what I mean? Appreciate that, Burnish Brass. But that's what it is. And and everybody can't hold that standard. You know what I mean? And thing is, people think giving a message in the music means being preachy. Was Earth and Fire preachy when they did the song Mighty Mighty? Mighty Mighty was more of a dance song than most shit that's out right now. We are the people of the mighty, mighty people of the sun. In our heart lies all the answers to the truth you can't run from. Earth and Fire made one of the hottest dance tunes in 1974. We are people of the mighty, mighty people of the sun. In our heart lies all the answers to the truth you can't run from. Doobie-doobie-doobie-doo. You see how much gold went into a song that people danced to? That didn't sound preachy. When George Clinton said, here's our way to dance, here's our chance to dance our way out of our constrictions, going to be freaking up and down with the groove I only got. It means we all move. Feet don't fail me now. Ready or not, here we come. Getting down for the funk of it. One nation under a groove. He was telling people the way we're going to come together as a nation is to dance our way, because the oppression's so high we can't get over it, so low we can't get under it, so wide we can't get around it. So we got to dance our way through it. Mr. Wiggles, dancing through the molecules of wetness like an eel through seaweed. Mr. Wiggles. They weren't preaching to nobody. They was preaching to you and you didn't even know it. But again, that shows how magical we are. And when we as a people stick to that, nobody can fuck with us. They're not going to steal your music. They're not going to steal your sound. They're not going to be able to do any of it because they can't do it like that. That's a gift that God gave us that I don't think as a people we respect it enough. That's a gift that God gave us that we don't respect enough. You did? And just say you're not going to have anything, okay? You don't want to do anything socially conscious. Everybody's not socially conscious. Fine. Okay, cool. Well, if you're going to make love music, can you at least give it the right texture and make it tender? Can you bring in some horns to play softly in the background, a muted trumpet? Can you play some strings to pull the emotion? Think about it. What do you have in your heart? They call heartstrings. Can you woo and pull some strings with some strings? Can the lyrics be tasteful and loving? You're not going to make conscious music, fine. At least then, if you're going to make love music, make it loving. Okay, maybe you don't know love like that, and maybe that isn't coming to you. Okay, can you talk about what you see out here? And I don't mean talking about haters. Man, this is what's going on. And then write a fantasy, because music is also a fantasy. It's like, okay, this isn't what we have, but this is where we need to be. Stevie Wonder wrote a song called Saturn. Go look it up. It's on the Songs in the Key of Life album. Going back to Saturn where the people smile. Rainbow moons end in orange snow on Saturn where people live to be 205. Going back to Saturn where the people smile. Go back to the song. Stevie Wonder wrote a song called Inner Visions. Is this the world we live in now? No. But the music was aspirational. Like, I know this isn't what we live in now. But music, the job of music is to elevate me beyond where I am. So I'm writing a song called Inner Visions. People hand in hand. Have I lived to see the milk and honey land, where hate's a dream and love forever stands? Or is this a vision in my mind? The law has never passed, but somehow all men feel they're truly free at last, where hate's a dream and love forever stands. Is this a vision in my mind? Okay, we're not there yet, But this is the standard. This is what got us through slavery. This is what got us through Jim Crow. This is what got us through the black codes. This is what got us out of Black Wall Street. This is what got us through. The musicians have a heavy burden, man. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm just setting out a challenge to my artists out there. I'm not saying it's easy, and I'm not saying you're stupid if you don't do it. I'm not saying none of that shit. I'm just saying, God, if you're an artist, God tasks you with a major responsibility. You're the means of communication to us as a people. You are. And with that comes responsibility. It doesn't matter that it's a different generation. Every generation is a new generation. Black Americans been doing the same thing for, what, 40 generations on this land? That's not an excuse, new generation. That's not an excuse. Because the artists also respond to society. You also got to understand another reason why music got conscious in the mid-'60s. Let me tell you some more history. Because if you go back to music of the 50s, black music of the 50s wasn't that conscious. It wasn't at all. But that's also why you don't remember much music from the 50s. See how that works? The 50s aren't as memorable because the 50s was a whole lot of, ooh, baby, baby, please. It wasn't really talking to our condition. The people, the Panthers, the regular rank and file black people were going to the artists saying like, what's up? We got all this shit going on. Y'all ain't gonna say nothing? The artists were challenged by the people. And the artists responded. You had some people who did it on their own. But for everyone else, it was the people saying, okay, yeah, we're tired of hearing that. I love you. Okay, cool, yeah, but what's going on in Vietnam right now? The people. Again, this goes back to how I started this conversation talking about T-Pain and Drake and Jay-Z. We once had a higher standard overall. Not saying people don't do it now. Like I said, Anderson .Paak, he makes good music. He had a song called Lockdown during the pandemic. People talk about some different generation. Look at Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar doing it. Kendrick's doing it right now. Fuck you mean? That shows you how that people can still hear a message and you can still be popular. Look at Kendrick Lamar right now. What's one of Kendrick's biggest songs? We Gonna Be All Right. That song inspires so much. We All Right got us through the end of the Obama era into Trump. And all them black people that was getting killed, like Rakia Boyd and Alton Sterling. Reincarnated by Kendrick Lamar. Reincarnated is probably one of the greatest songs ever written. Reincarnated? Go listen to Reincarnated again. That progress. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Learn, get into yourself. Learn yourself. Find out who you are. Whoever said Sly Stone was a lost cause don't know who the fuck Sly Stone was. I can tell you don't know your Sly and Family Stone history. The fuck is you talking about? Sly and Family Stone fits perfectly into this conversation because Sly and Family Stone changed how America dressed, how America danced, And Sly and the Family Stone, somebody said Sly Stone was a lost cause. Nigga, did you ever listen to the song Stand? One of the biggest songs in 1971 was Sly and the Family song, Stand. Stand. In the end, you'll still be you. One that's done all the things you set out to do. Stand. There's a cross for you to bear. Things to go through if you're going anywhere. Doom, 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 stand. Think about that lyric Sly Stone wrote. There's a cross for you to bear. Things to go through if you're going anywhere. Break that lyric down. If you're going anywhere in life, if you have a mission that you're on, you're going to have to go through them things, but stand regardless. Who the fuck says Sly Stone was a lost cause? Nigga, did you listen to Sly and the Family Stone? Family Affair? There's a riot going on? Don't call me nigga, Whitey. Don't call me Whitey, nigga. Who the fuck said Sly Stone was a lost cause? Did you listen to the man's music? Sly and the Family Stone changed the world musically. And they kept a socially conscious message in the music. What's up, George Richard? Somebody said Sly Stone. Nigga, what song did you hear? Everyday people, sometimes I right when I can be wrong. Nigga, what? I am no better and neither are you. We are all the same, whatever we do. Yeah, he said a person who's lost would say that. Yeah. You fucking serious? Sly Stone was a lost cause? What? You better go back and listen to Sly and the Family Stone. Two cats down there fucking. Somebody said, is James Brown a creator of funk? Of course. Motherfuckers is crazy. Don't do things to get my attention. Say something of substance. That's the best way to get my attention. Hell yeah, Sly Stone's a revolutionary. Don't do 16-year-old shit to get my attention. That ain't cool. But it's all love anyway. Yeah. No, what Zap did wasn't Autotune. That was a talk box. It's a lot more skill to play talk box. You got to play keys with that. And those talk box had been around for about 10 years before Zapp and Roger got to it. And the person who did talk box before Zapp was Herbie Hancock. Go listen to Herbie Hancock's Sunlight album. You'll hear Herbie Hancock playing talk box before Zapp and Roger. Yeah, sign up for my music camp. I should have been. I told you about my music camp. It starts next Sunday. Next Sunday. The start of my music camp. Next Sunday. Sign up at DewanB.com. Sign up for that. We're going to have tutorials. Maybe we're going to have fact sheets on artists, all that good shit. It's only $150. That's for 5 classes. That's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money. $30 a class. $30 a class. And you're going to get some readers, some playlists, some very comprehensive shit. So, but I don't want, like, go back to how I started this. I don't want artists to think I'm hating. That's not what I'm doing. When I speak, I'm speaking to our greatness, to the overall greatness. And if you don't have anything to say, some artists aren't the best at saying things. Then just give us some beautiful melodies and chords, man. If you can't, okay, lyrically that ain't your thing, you don't have a message, give us some music that we can breathe to. Give us, when you do create your R&B, when you do create your rap, give us some chords and melodies that lift us up. Playing keys that make us feel a certain way. Do some modulations. Put in a nice, beautiful, throw some beautiful bridges in your music. Put in a beautiful bridge that just lightens our day, you know? You may not have it in the lyrics, but musically, do what Gene Page did. Do what James Carmichael did. Do what Norman Whitfield did. Do what Barry White did. Do what Leon Ware did. And give us some chords and some melodies that's going to make us feel good. I hear people all the time talking about something, and I never talk about this topic, but I always get people that want me to talk about the frequency. Like, a lot of people done heard the New York conscious niggas, and nothing wrong with them. No disrespect on them. But, you know, a lot of people, you done heard the conscious world. Well, it's 443 and 628 hertz and 512 hertz. Niggas done heard a Bobby Hemmett lecture. Oh, it's about the 320 megahertz. And look, man, I don't know nothing about no fucking hertz. But I do know that D major makes me feel, that's the gospel key. And it make me feel good. I don't give a fuck how many hertz is in it. I don't know how many hertz is in it. D major feels good. And I don't even know chords like that. I had to sit down and ask Kenneth Crouch. I was like, what's that one chord I used to hear all the time in church? Oh, he's like, oh, you mean D? D major is going to feel good. Play the chord, learn. That's why I love my gospel music. If you're a gospel musician, that's why I'm doing my documentary on gospel. I'm still doing my documentary, y'all. We are editing like crazy. It's just that my editor, he got a lot of other work he got to do. He got to make his bread, and so we coming along. We coming along on my documentary, y'all. Like, I promise y'all, we coming along. It's just life, you know, and we working on. Yeah, I do have a class on the history. I have a class on the last 100 years of American music. You can go and buy it right now at dewanb.com/courses. It's an 8-part class. You can go ahead and buy that right now. Yeah, Burns, like the intro to Change Is Gonna Come, like that. Just that intro to Change Is Gonna Come. Before Sam Cooke sings a word, those strings. Nigga, that's what I'm talking about. Summer Madness by Kool and the Gang. Yeah, the Soul Stirrers are great, yeah. Musicians, you hold the keys to that, man. Y'all do. We need y'all. Like, we need the musicians to have a little more tender love and care in their music. Don't just get right into the song, have somebody sing Autotune, everything quantized. That's cool for a couple songs on the album, but for the rest of that shit, man, go send out for some live strings. Get somebody to write you a good string part. I mean, hire background singers, like, for real. Background singers are so amazing. You don't even need to write shit out for background singers. Just tell them what you want them to sing and let them put it together. Go hire out a crew. You still got 2 and 3 crew background singing. Give us some. Just put the beauty back into the music. If you ain't got nothing conscious to say, that's fine. You ain't got nothing real loving to say. That's fine. Just put some love into the music, man. Yeah, Voyage to Atlantis. How that starts. Man, when Voyage to Atlantis come on, man, you done heard a whole song before Ronald Isley's voice comes in. Zoom by the Commodores. Psst, 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 psst. Dun, 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 dun. Give us some beauty, man. We need that. We need that. We need intros. We need bridges. We need key changes and modulations. We need beautiful vamps. Listen to Angela Winbush and Renee Angela. Dry your eyes. Please don't cry. You can be strong if you just hold on. Is that not one of the most beautiful vamps you ever heard in music? Dry your eyes. Please don't cry. You can be strong if you just hold on. That song has gotten me through some things. Renee and Angela. You don't have to cry. Give us some beautiful vamps like that. Like, how can you have a bad day after hearing Dry Your Eyes, Please Don't Cry, You Can Be Strong If You Just Hold On? Hearing that after you heard somebody you love just passed away, or you got some bad news. We all get bad news. Okay, you don't have a beautiful song, you don't have a militant song. Well, give us a song that can help us get through some bad times. We all have bad times. We all have breakups. We all lose jobs. Niggas file for bankruptcy sometimes. Shit happens. Give us some music to speak to that. We need it. Yeah, Isaac Hayes intros. The Walk On By intro, Isaac Hayes. AI music ain't gonna get in the way of creative music. Non-creative music is in danger. They're gonna be no more with the weekends. The Weeknd is gonna be AI. The next Drake is gonna be AI. The originators are gonna be fine. The creatives and the originators, they're gonna be fine. Make sure I don't see no goddamn raccoons. Make sure I don't see no goddamn raccoons. I mean, no more skunks. That skunk had me fucked up. That skunk had me fucked up earlier, yo. I'm about to get up out of here, y'all. About to get up out of here. We're going to be back out tomorrow. Authenticity from our artists. That's what we want. And T-Pain did a great thing for himself. He created A Wrinkle in Time. What that did for music overall, it brought in a lot of sorry motherfuckers. All right? But I'm out of here, y'all. Y'all have a good one.